Welcome to the Energy 3.0 kickoff meeting. I'm Paul McIntyre. I'm one of the two faculty co-directors of the program. And it's my honor and my pleasure to welcome you here today. I think it'll be an exciting day of talks and discussions that we'll have. I should begin by, first of all, acknowledging the schedule for today's proceedings, the overview of the conference. I'll be making some introductory remarks right now, and we'll also introduce a few other important people in the program in the process of doing that. Then we'll have a presentation, a keynote industrial presentation from Homer Antoniadis of DuPont. And we'll have some further discussions on energy applications this morning, presentation by Professor Tom Jaramillo of chemical engineering, a coffee break, and then continuation of the energy applications session with Professor Sean-Wee Fan and Juan Rivas, and then a lunch break from noon till 1:30. So we hope that these are going to be interactive presentations. Please ask questions. In addition to that, we want to have interaction during this lunchtime poster viewing. So we've invited a select number of Stanford graduate students and postdocs to present research on a broad range of topics at the poster session at lunchtime today. And we hope you will attend those posters and ask questions and engage in some discussion with them. And this is really meant to be indicative of the broad range of research going on here at Stanford in the energy space. The program itself will continue then in the afternoon. Fritz Prins, the faculty co-director of the program, will be hosting the early afternoon session, and we'll have a keynote presentation by Ray Wood, who's going to be talking about the view of the energy landscape from the point of view of a major bank, Bank of America. And then we'll have a discussion, a session on energy technologies with Will Chu and also Debbie Sineski, and another coffee break. And then the final session this afternoon will be on the solar industry and the electric grid. This will be led by Sally Benson, who's the director of the Precourt Institute for Energy, and we'll feature presentations by Stefan Reichelstein, Ram Rajagopal, and a wrap-up by Sally. So before we get into the main part of the program, I want to acknowledge the current members of Energy 3.0. So Energy 3.0 is really a continuation of or a reboot, if you will, of a program that we've had here at Stanford for about 5 years. Many of you will be familiar with that program. It was called the Energy and Environment Affiliates Program. And about a year ago, we recognized we had an opportunity to sort of redesign the program, make it more engaging for members and for the faculty involved, and also to make it more focused on energy. So we pulled it into the Precourt Institute for Energy, which is the broad umbrella organization at Stanford that oversees energy research from very fundamental energy science all the way to policy. And so we wanted to offer an affiliates program that would allow members to make connections across a broad range of different topics in a way that was easily customizable to their needs. And we have then some new members of the program, Meralco and SAIC, and also legacy members from EEAP, and we're interested in recruiting additional members as well. To help with that and to help with sort of the executive level management of this effort, we've been fortunate to attract a great new managing director, Jim Chen, who's here right now, and I'll just ask him to come up and say a few words if you wouldn't mind.
Well, thank you very much, Paul. And I'd like to also extend my welcome to all of you, to Stanford University, and to 3O's kickoff conference. I look forward to working with each and every one of you as we move forward and create the energy future. Thank you.
Thanks, Jimmy. I should also acknowledge Marjorie Alfs, and you'll have all met Marjorie perhaps many times before. She's outside. Yeah, let's have a round of applause for Marjorie. She has been the foundation, the rock on which we've built a lot of this. So she's been terrific, and I think having both Jimmy and Marjorie working together, we're going to have a great team, a staff team, to oversee this program. So let me say a little bit about the nature of the program. It's an affiliates program. It's a mechanism to foster interaction between industry and Stanford faculty and students, effectively. These are intended to be professor-driven investigations and two-way communication of the results of those investigations. It's an annual subscription program at a fee of $250,000 per member. That's the affiliate fee for major corporations that join the program. And for that membership, there are 3 allocations or sort of points of engagement that each company gets in its annual membership. And these can be customized in terms of the research areas that are interesting to you, and the nature of the interaction. So we have, at the moment, 3 different kinds of interactions that we can offer. One is called a focus area engagement. And in that case, we have a cluster of professors who've sort of self-assembled around a particular theme that's important. A company has the opportunity to join that focus area. They could put all of their 3 membership tokens into that focus area if it's something that's really critically important to them, or they could spread them around to multiple focus areas. So the focus areas we currently have are batteries, solar, and smart grid, and we have more to come in the future. There's a lot of interest, and this is where we take on board the advice from industry members and prospective members to try to nucleate these new focus areas that can be important for your business. We also have a visiting scholar program, so it's possible to use these allocations, these 3 allocations, to provide fees for hosting visiting scholars. These are engineers or scientists from companies that are embedded in faculty member groups. They attend group meetings, they work with students, and they have an opportunity to, by being embedded in the Stanford environment, to really partake in a more detailed way in the energy research endeavor here. And then finally, we have what we're called focus mentor, fellow mentor advisor engagement. So the FMA program involves a research fellow, a graduate student in a professor's group. That professor is then the advisor of the student, and there's a mentor in industry who is meant to be the contact to that student and the conduit through which research results can be returned back to the company, and a relationship can be built up with that professor's group. So it's a more directed and more individualized kind of engagement that we have as part of the program. So in addition to those 3 kinds of research engagement options and the customizability that each member has, we also offer a number of membership events. This is one of them. This is actually the first one for the new program, the kickoff meeting. And we will run an annual conference every spring like this. Some of them may be more thematic than others. This is more of a broad view of the energy research landscape here. But we will run one such meeting every year in the spring. In addition, we have a whole series of other events that members are invited to, new faculty seminars. We can do custom visits, so if a company has a group of engineers who want to learn about some specific topic, we can arrange visits with Stanford faculty. And this could lead to perhaps a particular interaction through a focus area or FMA, depending on how those discussions go. So welcome to our first event, and I want to say a little bit about this kind of program, an affiliates program, and how it differs from other sorts of industry university involvement that we have here at Stanford. So affiliates programs are very special programs. They are very flexible. They're basically designed to facilitate a knowledge transfer to society and dialogue between academia and industry. They provide an avenue for companies to connect to Stanford research and teaching in a fairly general way and in a way that they can shift priorities quickly as things change. And companies receive facilitated access to new research results and to the participating faculty and students. So there can be meetings, teleconferences, other kinds of fairly informal interaction that can be arranged through these affiliates programs. The policies that govern them are, of course, it's a university, we have a lot of policies. So we have a research policy handbook that explains how we run these programs, and they're administered by the Dean of Research and the Industrial Contracts Office here at Stanford. So one of the questions that we often get from companies who are either in a program or more likely are considering joining a program is, how does this differ from other kinds of engagement? And the key differentiation is between an affiliates program membership and what's called sponsored research. So there are some important distinctions that have to be borne in mind here. Sponsored research is really more of a one-on-one relationship. It can be relatively tactical. There's usually a statement of work involved. There's that can be a set of milestones. There can be some very set reporting requirements. There's always some kind of an intellectual property agreement. And these are often multi-year commitments that the company will make. So it's a pretty rigorous and more tactical kind of engagement. And there's also a higher overhead rate on these kinds of programs. So the university facilities and administration charges apply to these. And currently this is around 38% of the cost. The overall cost of the program will be effectively overhead on a project. There's detailed financial accounting and a contract associated with that. There's also options for companies to expand it by sending a visiting scholar, but this is done with an additional fee over and above whatever the sponsored project is involving the Stanford students and faculty. So that's sponsored research. And an affiliates program membership is quite different. So this is sort of a many-to-many interaction. As I've said, we can have involvement with focused groups of faculty and students. It's not so specific in terms of its aims. The funding is, and the nature of the project is really unrestricted. It's a professor-driven investigation. We have open publication. Affiliates programs members will receive results as we get them, and they'll be informed of the results. But there's no sort of preset pre-review of publication worthy results. And the focus is really faculty determined. So it's exploratory research. There's a lot of two-way communication, but there isn't a set statement of work or a set of milestones or project deliverables. And this is ongoing research. So it's ongoing from the perspective of the professors and what they're doing with their students. It's ongoing as far as you're concerned because you can shift priorities from year to year depending on your interests. Infrastructure fee does apply here, but it's much lower. It's an 8% infrastructure fee, basically just bookkeeping fee. And the funds are unrestricted and may be designated for graduate student research support. There's no formal reporting requirements. Companies can send a visiting scholar as part of their membership. In this case, that would count as one of the 3 tokens or 3 engagement allocations in each annual subscription. So programs and activities. We have a lot of activities. I mentioned we have these focus areas, the FMA program, the Energy 3.0 Visiting Scholar program. We have a lot of events that we run. I want to highlight here the new faculty seminar series. This is a really great set of events that we run. Whenever there's a faculty member hired on campus and we learn that they have interests in energy-related research of one kind or another, we try to organize a new faculty seminar for them. It's an opportunity to sort of introduce them to the broader Stanford community. We also invite all the member companies in the program to attend, and they have an opportunity to make a connection with this professor when they're just starting out in their career. Many of the members really enjoy these events and find them to be valuable. And I want to point out that a number of the alumni of this seminar series are actually going to be speaking here today. So Will Chu, there'll be Debbie Sineski, Ram, and Juan will all be speaking today. So it's an indication of the connection that these faculty develop with the program. Also, we have custom meetings, as I said, with Stanford faculty and students, and we want to involve the affiliate members in roundtable discussions after major events where we can get feedback on what we're doing right and what we might want to think about doing differently in the future. So we have a lot of different faculty research topics. This is in no way an exhaustive list. Some of these have been captured in these focus areas, so batteries, for example, also smart grid and solar. We're interested in potentially rolling out new focus areas in sensors and energy efficiency in the near term. And of course, we need feedback from the members and from prospective members on what are the most exciting opportunities to roll out new topics. This is a snapshot just showing in the last year some of the projects that have been funded. Bruce Clemens is a member of the solar focus area. His group has done some really interesting work on liftoff technologies where we can make high-quality semiconductor absorbers on expensive single crystals and in an efficient way transfer that material off onto cheaper substrates. So this is a way of making very high efficiency solar cells more cost effective. And there's a whole list of other topics here. Abbas Al-Gamal is one of the leaders of the smart grid focus area, and we'll be hearing from them later on in the afternoon. Debbie Sineski will be talking later on as well. So just a quick rundown of these three focus areas that we currently have. The battery focus area, we have 5 faculty members who are engaged in this from across the university, professors in chemical engineering, material science, chemistry, and mechanical engineering, and really interested in a broad range of different topics here related to improved lithium-ion batteries, new batteries for grid-scale storage, things like supercapacitors, related alternatives to batteries for energy storage, and then devices using more exotic materials, organic materials, nanotubes, and graphene that could provide new functionality in batteries. The smart grid focus area, a substantial team here, 6 faculty members. Some, like Arun Majumdar, who will be one of the moderators today, have activities more at the device level in addition to an understanding of the system level issues here. Others are more focused on the system level design of the grid and how this can be done most effectively in an era of increasing use of renewable energy sources. So this is a strong group that we have. And then we have a solar focus area. So the solar focus area has several different faculty members from across the university working on topics like solar photovoltaics, thin film PV, thermionic emission devices, organic PV, and exotic absorbers like these new perovskite materials. I believe we'll see a poster on that today as well. And nanowire solar cells. So those are the 3 focus areas. I just want to end by saying a bit more about membership benefits. Really what we're trying to do is bring together people with a range of different energy interests. We want to focus on research, but do so in a way that is easily customizable and is sort of faculty-driven. We want to contribute to future economic development in energy industries, and that's why we want to have a close and ongoing connection to our members. And provide opportunities for our students. I think our students are our most important product at a university, and many Stanford students will be among the leaders in energy science and technology and policy in the future. So this is an opportunity for them to show you their stuff and for you to potentially find new recruits for your companies. We want to create a forum to exchange ideas with industry, and we think that's very important in the educational process for our students and for our faculty, for that matter. And we want to engage you in multiple different ways in a long-term manner. So with that, once again, I want to welcome you and hope that you enjoyed the program today and that any questions you might have about the affiliates, the Energy 3.0 affiliates program are answered here, but also that you enjoy the presentations and the interactions that we have. So thank you.